Good morning students. Hello, how are you? I am Francis sir and today we will be studying standard 7 moral science. And this is the last chapter of this subject, and though the last, it is also a very important one because this chapter is related to one of the very famous personality of India, yes, and that is Shri Acharya Vinoba Bhave. You understand that this word Acharya, it has a quite significant meaning, and that is your teacher. So he has been named, or he has been given a nickname called Acharya. Why? Because he taught many people something, and you know what was that? That was simplicity and social service. So he, through his life, taught the people of the society to lead a simple life, a life full of simplicity, and that one could render social service to other people, needy people also. Because in the olden age, the big people, like the powerful people like kings and landlords, they possessed so much of property. Still, they did everything for either themselves or in the name of God. They made something, big statues, big temples, big mosques. These all things were there. But nobody thought of the poor people. Yes, and the poor people or the needy people, they led a miserable life. They couldn't receive two meals of bread also. So that was a thing that was going on. So he, through his life, showed that this social service is also a very important aspect, that has to be focused upon. Okay, so this was about Acharya Vinoba Bhave. So let's try to see this Acharya's life. Okay, let's start from his childhood. So his original name was basically Vinayak Narhari Bhave. Vinayak Narhari Bhave was his original name, but he came to be famous as Vinoba Bhave. Okay, so let's see his date of birth. His date of birth is 11th of September 1895. Okay, he was born in 1895. His village was Gagoda of the district Raigad from the state Maharashtra. Okay, so this was his birthplace. Means he was his native place was Maharashtra. Okay, we can understand. Second thing is that what was his father's name? His father's name was Narahari Shambhu Bhave. Narahari Shambhu Rao Bhave was his father's name, and her mother was Rukmani Devi. Their parents, both of them were very devout Hindus. Okay, they had quite not too much faith in the teachings of Gita and the other religious books that were there, and they were they weren't orthodox. They were a true believer of true interpreter of Hindus. When we come to any religion, there are two type of religious people. One, who understands all the aspects of the religion and generates tolerant perspective inside himself. Whereas there are some people, who are, yes, they are religious, but they have quite an orthodox type of feeling. They have an orthodox feeling. They don't have any tolerance towards other religion. Okay, so their parents were quite tolerant. And this mother of Vinoba Bhave, she was her spiritual teacher who had shaped his mind in accordance to the Gita. Means Gita has a very good teaching in itself, and she taught him in accordance to Gita and created a deep love inside him for Gita. And you see that what is the impact of the mother. So it is very important that from the very childhood you should keep an environment which makes you good, and you truly know what is good and what is bad. And you see, when this Vinoba Bhave was got an environment of Gita, what happened? He grew up into a simple, humble person who wanted to work for the people. Everybody works for himself. Yes, even animals do. Yes, you might have seen that birds making nest. They make nest for themselves. You might have seen that these birds or the animals, they hunt or they get food. Either they will get food for themselves or for their children. There is no social service there. Yes, but it is the human characteristic, that we have a thinking that we should work for others in a generous way. Yes. So this was brought about by the teachings of her mother in the character of Vinoba Bhave. Okay. He was a true devotee of Gandhiji. Yes, as he grew up, it was almost in 1917, 1918. This Mahatma Gandhi came to India, landed in India, and he was quite influencing the most parts of India. He was taking on various Satyagraha movements at various places. So when these things came to the paper, Vinoba Bhave read it, and he was very much influenced by the activities of Mahatma Gandhi. So what he did, he slowly contacted him in terms of by the means of letters, and later on he met him in 1921. He met Gandhiji in 1921 and took the charge of Gandhi's ashram. Gandhiji had started that Sabarmati ashram in Surat. So he came up and started to indulge himself in the activities in which the Gandhiji was involved. Okay. So since he was there with Gandhiji was there. He was very much active in politics regarding the freedom struggle of India. So since he was there, he was also sent to jail in the charge of conspiring against the British kingdom, okay, or British rulers. So that was the thing. He was sent to the jail, and later on he was the representative of the civil disobedience movement in 1940. In 1940, what had happened is Gandhiji was not present, either he was in jail or he was abroad. Because of any condition, he was not here. So, civil disobedience movement was started under the leadership of Vinoba Bhave. Okay, he was the representative of the civil disobedience movement. In 1941, he was chosen as the first Satyagrahi by Gandhiji. Why? Because he was a true Satyagrahi. Why true Satyagrahi? Because he never opted for any sense of violence. He never approved violence, and neither he supported violence. He was the one who was emotionally and means all the ways, he was a staunch supporter of Satyagraha. Yes, and that is why he was termed to be as the first Satyagrahi by Gandhiji. Later on, after India got freedom, he moved on to Telangana to help the local Harijans as he was demanded. Everybody knew about his, his dedication towards the poor. So the Harijans of Telangana, they asked for the help from this Vinoba Bhave, and he came there and he sorted out the problem of these Harijans, and he was able to get the Harijans 80 acres of land so that they could feed themselves. So this was a great thing, and as he came to Telangana, when he saw that this was a problem here, this type of problem might be there in various other parts of India also, where the people might be landless, where the people might be poor, and they might be facing a serious trouble getting 2 days meal. They could not get 2 times of meal also. So what he did, he started the Bhudar movement and walked all around India in order to take the land, means not take forcibly, just in the form of grant, he would take the land from the rich landlords or the businessmen or the princely people and give it to the poor, needy, landless people, who had nothing to feed on. So in this activity, he almost moved on 64,000 kilometers on foot. He moved 64,000 kilometers on foot and collected almost 80,000 hectares of land in favor of the poor. And this was in the form of these lands were in the form of donation. So this movement is called Bhudan movement. Okay. So you understand what was the life of this person. This person's life was always for the welfare of the people, and he himself always lived a very simplest life, full of simplicity, and he always wore khadi. He always wore khadi because he said that khadi is a way to simplicity. If you leave khadi, that means you have left simplicity. Okay, so that was a way of his thinking. So, but he led a life, which, though in his lifetime also and after his death also, we remember him as a great person. So this is a very important chapter. You go through this and complete the question and answers. Okay, and if you get any doubt, you can let me know. So with this I end this video. See you again. Okay, good day.